CORSAIR DreamHack Masters marches on here in Malmö as we do see Astralis taking on Fnatic, our first semi-final of the tournament for 2019, and both of these teams are vying for that big trophy and that big Intel Grand Slam slot at the end of the road. Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back inside of the arena, more importantly. It's good to see most of you out there waving your flags, clapping your clappers, and getting this party started. But one thing I haven't seen enough of is you putting your cans in the air, which does bring me to my next point. We do have to bring it over to these two cans right here. We do have Christine and we do have Jacob. You look confused, Jacob. You okay?
Nah, just a can, I guess.
No, I mean like you can. Nothing negative. Hold on, it's not like the bin. You're not like rubbish or anything.
That's true.
So anyway, back to the positive vibes. First matchup, Astralis Fnatic. We've got Sweden versus Denmark going down right now just to start the day off. Does that create a little tension inside the arena?
It should, right? It rightfully should. I think Denmark is close enough to Malmö that there should be a lot of days inside the arena, whereas for the Swedes, we did see them yesterday kind of split between Fnatic and NIP. I do expect them, though, all to rattle up behind Fnatic now and give it all.
Well, Christine, why don't you go ahead and give me 3 reasons why?
All right, so these are the 3 reasons, and this is going to be the 3 reasons why this series is going to be a little bit more tough for Fnatic. And coming in with reason number 1 is the map pool. Now, we know Fnatic don't play Vertigo, and they're not quite as strong on Nuke, so this puts them at a disadvantage going into this veto because those are 2 of Astralis' stronger maps. Now, coming in with reason number 2 is the foundation. This past weekend, we've been seeing Flusha with his flanks, JW up to his shenanigans. But with Astralis' foundation, these kinds of plays are going to be a little bit more challenging for Fnatic to be more successful on. And with reason number 3, this is a new Fnatic. Now, I know this is a lot of familiar faces coming back into the lineup, but this is 2019. These players are new, back into the unit together, and they're going to have to use each other a little bit better this time around.
Which is what? Well,
those are my 3 reasons.
There it is, Christine. How about that? I like the way you ended it too. My 3 reasons. Boom. There you have it. Speaking of 3 reasons, there's a couple of reasons. There's always a reason for something.
Sure.
But in this case specifically, we're going to do a world's first and open up the analyst DMs right here live on the broadcast. Now, some of those need to stay hidden and well out of sight, but
sure.
this one really came out to mind. So I guess I can go ahead and read it. Shout out to the homeboy Hampus. We're not going to go ahead and give away whoever he is and all of his personal details,
sure.
But we will read the tweet that he has given to us. If you are on the desk today, why are Device not talked as best in the world? Look at his stats, wins, impacts. For me, he is better than Zywoo and Simple. What the hell is that, Jacob?
Nah, I mean, it's a legit question, and it's fine that he uses my DM, and he actually is more polite than the majority of the guys inside my DM, so that is always nice. Now, Hampus, there is one reason why Device is not talked as the best player in the world, because he simply isn't. I think when you look at the individual skill a Simple and a Zywoo brings on a server, it's so much better than basically everyone else. I think Elise was in the conversation. Device will always be in the conversation to be up there with some of the best, but to claim to be the most skilled player in the world, it requires more than just being a good teammate. There is no doubt that Device is one of the best players in the world, and when he's playing well as well, there's no doubt that he could be argued to be one of the best in the world, especially considering when Astralis had a down period, he was still performing at a very high level. Device may be the most consistent player in the world, but when you look towards raw skill and who can offer the most on a server at any given moment, I would always choose Simple or Zywoo over him for now.
For a firepower specific reason, of course.
Maybe he's the best teammate in the world, who knows?
Who knows? Maybe. We don't know much around here, but if there's one thing I do know, it's time to get this semi-final started. We can't do that without the teams, and we can't do that without you out in the arena there in Malmö. So let's go ahead and fire this bad boy up.
It will be amazing to play here in Malmö Arena. I mean, I'm looking so much forward to it.
Playing in front of the Swedish crowd in an arena like this, that was really, really nice.
Twice now on catwalk, unarmored opponents, SMG in hand. He's going to love that. He's got the bomb at his feet, goes for a new angle, jumping around and does absolutely nothing.
Really any investment from Astralis, they didn't get the bomb down. Other than that, it should be a safe round.
Come try to recover, but there's timing everywhere, and Device now has the M4. Eagle out as well. Good frag, and he's got another one.
That's an ace.
I hope there will be a lot of Danish Astralis fans, because it's always so nice to play in front of a lot of Danish people.
After his great trade. Oh, and jumping, he finds it. JW5
could be enough.
Can they get on the bomb?
The final play, ball towards me. They're walking into the lion's den though. Where's the trade potential? 1 by 1.
I think it will be an even square crowd-wise. hopefully there's more Swedes. Astralis is really, really big and they have built a huge fan base in Denmark. I expect a lot of their fans to show up here.
Any more on the B side now? Oh, back to the turn. Bomb is dropped. This looks like Fnatic's all over. Plotski, he's low.
Astralis is ready for the arena. Are you?
I'm ready for Astralis.
Guys, I can't hear you. Where's the crowd?
Oh yes! Sweden versus Denmark. Please welcome Fnatic and Astralis! Fnatic are fresh from proving that they are the best Swedish team in Counter-Strike at the moment. But they have got a fight on their hands from the Danes, who are feeling incredibly confident after lifting that major trophy in Berlin. But right now, I've got to talk to the future of CS in Sweden. It is Brolin. I know you were keen to talk to me today. Does this man intimidate you?
Nope.
It's quite simple. What about the fans out there, though? Do you think you're going to make them proud today?
I mean, it's also a tough opponent, but I think we have a chance to win, yeah.
Why do you think you have a chance, though? What's going to give you the edge?
I mean, I think we should just play our own game and don't be nervous at all.
Do you have any words for these fans, Brolin?
Ja, om det supportar oss kommer vi vinna den här matchen, 100%.
And Sonic, of course, I've got to come to you. None of your team wanted to talk to me today. I'm slightly offended, but it's fine. Are you excited to play here in the Malmö arena?
Yeah, it almost feels like we're at home. I could definitely see more Astralis jerseys today.
And over in the corner, actually, I'm quite impressed. You've got some fans who brought along pictures of your team with very interesting hairstyles. Dupree, he's got an afro on. Why is he not sporting this look today? It's a good look.
Yeah, I mean, this looks really great. I can't remember me having this kind of hair, but it looks great.
Well, I think maybe you should consider it for the future. I think that's a glimpse into your future. But talking of your future, how confident are you that you're going to beat Fnatic today and make it to the finals?
You can't have me say anything bad about Brolin or the Fnatic guys. We have a lot of respect for them. I know that in the past we have had some rivalry, but I think it's good to see them back with the old lineup. So much respect from here.
Well, I really hope that once you get into that server, that rivalry is reignited, because we want to see an epic semi-final here today. Gentlemen, please shake hands. Good luck to you both, because we need to head back to the desk.
A wholesome Papa Bear hug from Sonic right there might be enough to shake that of Brolin, but he has absolutely no fear. The young man just says, nope, not having it.
And I mean, that's the way they should. I mean, playing their own game, as he also said, that's not going to be enough. You got to play better than your own game if you're Fnatic in this lineup. I think that, as you said in your 3 reasons why, it's going to be tough for Fnatic. Let's be completely honest. We're not hired to sugarcoat it. We're not hired to give false hope here. Astralis is the better unit. Astralis has the better players. What Fnatic have is a new unit, a new squad. And maybe they have the confidence. We don't really know about that. But it has been, let's say, mixed signals coming into this tournament. At sometimes it's been looking good. At sometimes we're thinking, Crimps, whoa, you're one of the best players in the world. The next game, he's just average. So if Astralis wants to... if Astralis is going to lose this one, we need Fnatic to step it up big time, and we need all the players from Fnatic to play better than their own game.
We need to at least know where we're going to be playing. I mean, that's a pretty important, pivotal part about this entire process, is the map vetoes and which 3 digital battlegrounds we're going to find ourselves on. So, Christine, with all of your expertise and knowledge, please do give me what it is that you have and where we're going to be playing.
Well, I think Astralis are going to have to veto Mirage. They don't very often play that map. And Fnatic, they are in quite a pickle here, Trace. We've been seeing it all weekend long. And it's the fact that they don't play Nuke and they don't play Vertigo. And coming into a BO3 series, when you're down 2 maps that you're not confident in, facing what might be the best team in the world, it makes your job at winning that series that much harder. And so... Fnatic are in a really tough choice. What do they veto here?
Mirage is going out of the window, and Vertigo has to go out of the window. I think they'll have to play Nuke once more. We interviewed the coach yesterday saying that they didn't play their own game on Nuke yesterday against NIP, and they could do better. If they truly believe that, we're going to see another Nuke, and that's going to be Astralis' pick coming into this veto. Now, Mirage and Vertigo is out of the question. That is as it's supposed to be. Astralis don't want to play it. Fnatic don't want to play Vertigo. If I'm Astralis now, I pick Nuke. Whereas for Fnatic, where do you go against Astralis? What is a punish pick going up against this team, Christine?
there's not very many maps that I think Fnatic can punish Astralis on, but if I were to choose one, it would be Overpass.
Okay.
Once again, they showed a good showing yesterday on it, and on that first day versus Fury, they had so many overtimes. And with Broland coming in saying he's not afraid, he's got that confidence, and he wants to stick to his own game plan, I think having played Overpass so many times throughout this weekend, almost 4 maps total on just Overpass with just the rounds alone, I think that's going to bode well for them being so practiced on that map, being a newer lineup. They're going to be a little more comfortable on Overpass.
Let's find out, though, if you guys are right or you're just talking out of your heads again. Overpass and Nuke.
We're pretty spot on.
That's not bad.
No, we're pretty spot on, and I think that's to be expected. I think it's a good point you raised here, that if there is one map where you think, okay, Fnatic has a chance, Fnatic can, use some of the experience they have together as a team, with limited practice, well, that would be Overpass. You'd had a lot of practice throughout the tournament playing on certain maps, Overpass being one of them. Whereas for Astralis picking Nuke, Nuke is not necessarily Astralis' best map right now, but that is simply a punish pick right there. They know Fnatic don't play it, they know Fnatic looked very versatile yesterday, so it makes sense for Astralis to pick Nuke.
It does, and that does leave us on the ever-coveted decider of Inferno. Who would have ever picked that? I'm just kidding. Everybody seems to. That seems to be the go-to for the third map.
And I think that's fine, right? You don't want to play Train, that's fine. Fnatic, Astralis don't want to risk it on Dust 2, that's fine. Inferno is common middle ground for all teams. I don't think there exists a team outside Optic who don't play Inferno right now. So it's going to be a very common ground for both teams. And if it were to go to a third map, which I highly doubt, then it could be competitive.
There's still a chance. I mean, first and foremost, it's not like Astralis are the almighty and they're unbeatable. Liquid have beat up on them a few times. The evil geniuses have beat up on them a few times.
Where are they now, Trace?
Yeah, they're not here. But can the Swedes even begin to beat up on them here? I mean, we're talking about a home soil thing, blah, blah, blah. I'm talking about the fact that Astralis are actually beatable. They are vulnerable at certain parts.
Sure.
Can Fnatic find those parts?
Hey, listen, it's 2019. Any team is beatable. I think the skill has been increased. Astralis started it way back in 2018, just elevating the level of play that we've been seeing here. It's going to be very tough, as I mentioned in the 3 reasons for Fnatic to actually get a W in this series. But I do think that they do have a shot at making it competitive. Now, they're going to have to really play their game. And I do have to say, I don't like it when players say, play their game.
I hate it.
Yeah, but you have to look into it as these players... within that server, a lot of the times they're reacting. They're reacting to what their opponents are throwing at them. By playing their game, they're being more proactive. They're not leaving a lot of room to react to their opponents. They're only leaving room to react to their teammates. And so I think that's what that means, to play their own game. Don't let Astralis dictate the paces of the rounds.
And I can understand that completely, but I can also say from my own personal opinion that I am very, very tired of, I just want to play our own game, man, and totally get into this. No, get out here, have a little bit of fire, show us something. We saw it yesterday, and now hopefully we can see it again with Fnatic. Hopefully they can make this competitive.
Guy on the screen right there, Broland, he's going to be very, very important for Fnatic today. I know he's not necessarily the most experienced player. He hasn't been on a big stage like this in a semi-final many times, but he has shown some resilience in terms of that. He was playing, I believe, IEM Chicago last year, where they were so close to beating Astralis. They were leading 15-9, Inferno third map. We could see the same scenario today. They ended up losing that one, going into OT and losing basically. That's when Astralis found their whole into Grand Slam victory. Now, that being said, back then, nobody expected Fnatic to be able to beat Astralis either. So, to answer your question, yes, there is a chance Fnatic can beat them, but it requires Broland, it requires Flusher, it requires Crims and JW all to play the absolute best counter-strike.
Yes, it certainly will against that of Astralis, the powerhouse, the Danes, only having to come across the big bridge and then into the tunnel and then back out on the other side. But anyway, the point is, we do have Astralis. They're here, they have a fan base here. I saw the light-up signs out there. I know that the true fans are here in the house tonight. So, if we look at this, Xyp9x might be the guy I want to start with the conversation.
Sure, and he's a very important player for Astralis. He hasn't necessarily had the best tournament. I think he's done his job fine, but not more than that. And maybe going into the final, that would be a player you can point out and say Xyp9x needs to step it up a little bit if you want to be competitive against Vitality and Na'Vi. Whereas for this matchup, I think just being fine, just being this strong unit as Astralis have been so far, that's going to be enough. Device has had a great tournament so far as well. Dupree seems to be on fire. Magic's boy seems to like his life right now as well. There's so much stuff going on within the Astralis camp, and all seem to point in a positive direction. So, as said before, if these guys don't drop the ball, if it's Xyp9x not coming out and simply not joining the server, then sure, Fnatic can be competitive against Astralis. But if Astralis is playing just somewhat up to the level we've seen so far, it's going to be incredible tough.
Now that guy that just looked right at the camera and said, OMG, I feel you, buddy. This place is about to be rocking. But first and foremost, the only rocket thing I want to talk about is our head-to-head. We do have that of Flusha. We do have that of Glaive. And when we look at these two, why are they such an important head-to-head?
So I tried to pick not the most obvious picks for each team, and I think instead of going with the entry fraggers, or instead of going with the AWP players or the riflers, we're going with the two biggest brains on the server. Glaive, obviously the in-game leader for Astralis. He is arguably the best in-game leader in modern time. He's such a smart guy. I had the honor to play with him, and I can honestly say that I never played with a player that understands the game so well and is so good at communicating the game out to his teammates to make them understand as well. Whereas for Flusha, I don't exactly know how that works in terms of communication, but when you watch him play, he seems to have that sixth sense. He's one of the smartest players in the game, and I think that duel between the two is going to be very exciting.
Yeah, and we've definitely seen Flusha's game sense popping out throughout this weekend, right? I mean, so many instances where Flusha is flanking the enemy team, pushing and making the timings work so much in his favor. And not a lot of players can do that. Firstly, you have to understand when to push. Then you have to understand exactly where your enemies are going to be. So that sort of game sense coming out of Flusha definitely helps his mechanical side, because we know he hasn't been in the competitive scene, back in the competitive scene here for some time. So it definitely helps him put kills on the board and in turn put W's on the board.
So we're asking the Twitch chat to vote, right? Like that's what we've done. But what I want to ask is each and every one of you sitting there in the crowd, right? The guy right there poking the other guy with the clappers. I see you. I see what you're up to. But I want to ask you, is this an Astralis crowd or is this a Fnatic crowd? A resounding result there, I think, for Fnatic. So Twitch chat, if you like to jump ships like you do, now might be the time to say exactly where you are.
I mean, it is going to be important for Fnatic to feel that crowd out there, right? I think every guy inside the arena, especially considering they're playing in open stage, they're not playing inside the booth. Well, if you're a player and you're playing on that stage, you can feel the crowd, you can feel the tension within the game. So if Fnatic gets off to a good start, they get the crowd behind them and they basically silence all the Astralis fans coming over the bridge, coming into Malmö, I think that's going to be a big help for them as well.
I think so too, and I think the fact that they're actually a newer team and in the honeymoon reunited once more, I think this fact is going to help them push them forward. I mean, they're not thinking about all the past mistakes and the history that they have within each other. They're just trying to make new history within each other, and they don't have those kinds of fears anymore. So I think that's definitely going to help Fnatic going forward.
And the Wonder Child himself will find a seat here on the stage. He's going to try to do it in front of a home crowd, which could go a long way. Surprisingly, it feels like every NIP fan also had a Fnatic jersey. And they're just like, you know what? We're already here in Malmö for the weekend, so... No, that's not how that works, Jacob?
Yeah, surely that's how it works, and that's how it should work. I mean, if you're from Sweden, you gotta support your home team, and NIP is out of the tournament. They weren't good enough to be in the semi-final. They weren't good enough to beat Fnatic, so now we gotta rattle up behind Fnatic. And I think they have shown promise, right? They have shown that they are a better unit now. They're going the right way there, say, right? It's getting better within the Swedish scene, and you can sort of like hope that they're gonna showcase that today. But as said, JW on the screen right there, he's going to be super, super important as well. He is a guy that plays with no respect whatsoever. He's a guy that goes into every single matchup seemingly being unimpressed with whoever he plays against, and that can be a frustrating thing to go up against for Astralis. If Sonic has prepared a game plan and JW says, nah, I'm going to do something else, then that could be a thorn in the side for the Astralis guys.
Let's talk about the sides that you two are choosing. Right now, you have a real chance to either appease the crowd out in the audience or really stick to your guns and use your brains and kind of figure out what's going to happen here. I need your predictions, Christine. I want to start with you, and let's see what you got.
I'm going to have to go with Astralis here. I think Fnatic are looking good. I like the story that they're bringing to this tournament, but Astralis are still king in my eyes. They are still the best foundational team, fundamentally so sound. I have to go with Astralis.
Yeah. It's not a big surprise, is it? But I'm picking Astralis.
Wow.
Wow, who would have thought? Not based on the fact that I'm Danish and they're Danish, which is a nice thing to be because Denmark is a lovely country, but the fact that Fnatic simply isn't ready to go toe-to-toe against a team like Astralis yet. I've seen a lot of positive signs. I've seen JW play well. I've seen Crims have one of his best maps ever. I see Flusha back on the server. There's so much stuff around this Fnatic lineup that I like, but when you're facing what is potentially the best team in the world, you gotta do better than that, and I haven't seen it from Fnatic just yet.
Okay, so you're telling me I have to pick either Fnatic or Astralis?
You tend to be a crowd pleaser, Trace, so I'm leaning towards you picking Fnatic.
I wonder.
That's
what you do, isn't it?
Decisions.
Using
Astralis, y'all, let's get it going. That's the way it goes. Obviously, there is an entire thing here about, I know you're all upset with that. but you'll all be just fine when the series is over. Trust me, you'll head over to Macca's, everything will be just fine. When we talk about this series in depth, I mean, I haven't been convinced by many that Astralis can be beaten by just anybody.
Sure.
You have to catch them on the right day. You have to catch them at their weakest point. And obviously, coming into here, they are the favorites going up against Fnatic.
They are, and as Jacob mentioned, Fnatic will have to be firing on all cylinders. We're jumping into Overpass on that first match. Overpass is a really nice map for Oppers, for JW to be able to dance around the pillars, dance around the bathroom, move over to the B bomb site. There's a lot of mobility available for JW. I fully expect him to take advantage of that. Now it's really going to be a matter of his team following up on JW's aggression. Sometimes we do see that disconnect, especially towards that A, whether a player pushing long or party or connector. This sort of disconnect cannot happen. They have to all be on the same page, along with JW's aggression and capitalizing on it.
We're going to capitalize on it right now. Malmö, I need you to make some noise for the hottest duo coming into the Counter-Strike scene, ready to get this best of 3 started and ready to see a semi-final underway. It's going to be Henry Greer and Alex Richardson.
Thank you so much, Trace. Yes, this could be a good one. Astralis, however, poised to once again remind us why they are the very best.
Absolutely. The worrying sign here is the map pool in general, I think. It's Fnatic not quite ready to actually take on one of the world's best in terms of strength across the board. They've got every map under lock and key here. You saw the Vites go down. Mirage being removed is a massive wound to the Fnatic camp. But starting an Overpass, they managed to find some success there yesterday. The problem I have with that is their T-side approach was limited at best. They didn't really have much more than a B execution. They were really focusing towards that side of the map, and Astralis, they are well versed across the board here. It's going to be difficult to topple them, and they have to win this map because Nuke is coming up next, and we saw their approach down yesterday.
I was looking for the last time the Fnatic core beat the Astralis core, and I was looking, and I ended up looking at 2017, Henry. It really has been a while.
Bit of a throwback.
In a best of 3,
a vintage game.
It's been a while. The most recent head-to-head over in Cologne this year was a quick one. 7 rounds in 2 maps was all Fnatic could muster. Different look now, of course, when we're jumping into Overpass.
We will indeed. Ladies and gentlemen, your first semi-final. Underway, Astralis versus Fnatic. Let's make some noise. CT side start. There we go. You're alive today. I like that a lot. Flash out, 1 smoke, flashbangs available. They're keeping things fast and loose here. Alex going to be sending all their players towards this side of the map, and Device is surely going to go down. He does manage to find 1. That's going to be golden, but they will continue their assault towards this B-bomb site.
Flash does get turned by Brolin, and one of their own doesn't quite catch Zipex enough. Brolin having a trouble with Glaive, will be exchanged. Flame not available. Won't be able to stop this plant unless Glaive feels like pushing through this wall of smokes. He goes over. Flush is going to have his back turned. It's an easy frag. 2 now for Glaive. JW and Crims remain. JW equalizes. Has a chance on Magisk and gets it before falling. Now a 1v1 for Crims. The 3rd highest ADR at this tournament. And he hits a perfect shot. Fnatic are on the board early.
They certainly are, Alex. It's a very fast approach towards that B bomb site. You're normally guaranteed a plant, and Fnatic get 1 better than that. They win out in the 1 versus 1 against dupreeh. We are going to find ourselves now into round number 2, of course, and it's going to be $2,000 on the nose for Astralis. And it looks like the Force Spy is coming through. They are going for this one. It'll be 2 scouts, a UMP, a couple of Deagles here. Every chance of winning it, but it's going to be a difficult round. We will have AKs and Galils on the Fnatic side. A couple of SMGs thrown into the mix as well. Astralis, in terms of aggression, not presenting too much. dupreeh towards the bathrooms, and they're sending 3 players towards the B side of the map, and that's where Fnatic were focusing their efforts yesterday, if you remember.
Zipex responsible for Monster, and he does the damage he was hoping for. It softens him up for the Deagles. The nade itself does not connect. dupreeh, one of the craziest Deagle plays in history of Counter-Strike, happened with this man, his Deagle, and this map. Device tested. Will he stand his ground? It looks like he's willing to take another fight. It's a hard shot to hit, and jumping for information, knows when he can back away, but that gap has closed. He may have got caught out just a little bit, will be forced to deploy his smoke, but it will be to no avail. Quick catch from Golden. They extend their lead in round 2.
Yeah, they absolutely should here. 5 versus 3 now, and in terms of the setup of the CTs, they are rotating players over towards the A side. Glaive still on the front line here, UMP in hand, trying to buy some time with the smoke, maybe pushing them back towards the B side, but is it going to work out? 40 seconds here. Flush out with the bomb at the fountain position right now. Makes his way towards long. Bolan at the mouth of the bomb site here. 4 players in total towards the long position. A bit of a rotation here from Astralis. Either going to save their weapons or assume it's a B-side attack. They would be in a difficult spot either way. It's going to be a full commitment towards the A-side now, and it will be a bomb planted. But Glaive, they're at the bank. I think they'll just be better off saving at this stage.
Yeah, I think that was the decision. You just saw the thought process for Glaive. I think he backs away out of that one, realizing the site going to be overwhelmed by Fnatic players. And so they convert, and they do so seamlessly. Not a single player going down. The only real success was Astralis opening things up with a scout bullet from Zipex into Flusher's thigh, but he's still breathing, and the second round goes the way of the Swedes.
Well, Astralis now looking for any sort of exit frags here. It does give them a second bite of the cherry with this saved approach. You can see that UMP in the scouts. Magisk, he's got a very powerful deagle as well. They've got two players waiting towards T-Sport, make it 3 now. As Fnatic don't really need to hunt this. They've got weapons to give away, nothing to gain really. As we will see a clean 2-0 come through. Fnatic focusing towards long, managing to execute nicely. We didn't see too much of that yesterday. Much more efficient. They've got a good start here, looking for 3-0, but still going to be quite a difficult round here with the saved UMP, Deagle and Scout. Round 3, and Fnatic presumably go back into another default stance at the beginning of the round, and then we'll see what's available to them.
Yeah. Last time we saw Fnatic's Overpass, though, you made the point already, but just to reiterate that them hitting the A site doesn't tend to happen too much once we're into the nitty-gritty of Overpass. At least it didn't. Definitely had a bomb site of choice, and up against the team that have shown just how brutal a B-execute can be. JW looking to jiggle with the door, draws fire. He'll be able to suss that out, and without too much of his teammates having to overextend. Glaive and Flusher could be having an SMG duel on short, and neither is too successful with it. But Glaive, he's certainly feeling successful. He can escape, avoids the nade as well, and now chooses to reaggress.
Bomb's still down towards T-Spawn for now. Flusher waiting for the push towards shore. He'll get it, but wasn't ready to duel himself as he was reloading. It's going to be JW here, entering the A side alone, and that's absolutely fine considering it's just a USP waiting for him on this A side of the map. Should be able to find the first pick. He doesn't want to fully commit to this, knowing that he is alone and will give up a weapon if he does go down. Crims starting to edge towards a B side here. Enters through Monster. There is a boosted player available, so that's a couple of frags. First has to get this one towards the barrels here. Now starting to take some damage as the clock runs down further and further.
Good catch from Crims. He stood his ground. Glaive was being a real nuisance with that position and the SMG, but now look at JW. Despite Device getting that info early, he's caught them off guard. Zipex from Heaven shut down. It's only a USP. He's got a good shot at this. Dupree's got 2. And the round will reach its logical conclusion unless Device slices and diced all 5. It won't happen, and so another round on the board for Fnatic. The buy will come in, though, from Astralis next. Just 4 frags so far for the Danes. It's a rather slow start from them, understandable, after conceding on that pistol.
Yeah, just what the doctor ordered though for Fnatic. They needed a strong start here in this best of 3. The map pool is going to be a massive weakness for them here. Like we said, Nuke coming up next. Dropping to NIP yesterday. Astralis, different kettle of fish altogether. Needs to really perform here on Overpass. It has to be a win in my book. As we see the all come out for Device, he is one of the best CT players on this map with the AWP. Watch out for him as Zipex looks towards the T-spawn position. Flashes go over. Looks to be quite aggressive here on the CT side. Glaive and Zipex in position. Maybe considering a flashbang push at this stage, and flashing himself a little bit. Not the end of the world, he's absolutely fine.
It was all about showing presence, and I guess he kind of has. Albeit slightly less intimidating presence. That's a T-smoke at the mouth of Monster. Lines up the Molotov nicely and pulls more utility out of the Astralis arsenal. Actually catches Glaive, brings him down to 68. Wonder if that will play any sort of part in this round, especially now the nade has landed as well. Flusher, utility, brings Glaive down to half.
Yeah, that's not bad at all. He's just holding towards that B side of the map while his teammates progress up towards long. Boosting on the flower bed now, but Device no stranger to it. Does miss the shot, however. You can see Dupree baited in towards that position, but now he's completely known to be there. Now we'll have to fall back. We'll see if he can find this first frag. Golden, low HP, but a great flashbang, but actually catches him somewhat, it seems. And it will be the first frag for Astralis here, and Device always performs on the A side. Can he deliver here?
20 seconds. Molotovs are going to start flying in. Device forced to reposition. He still has a line of sight. Not anymore. Smoke arrives from his teammate Magisk, and so do bullets. A double kill. Great moves from JW. Puts 2 members of Fnatic up against the ropes. Missed shot from Device. They have to get that bomb down, and a frag as well. 2 versus 4, now 2 versus 2. They've leveled it.
Yeah, a couple of misses there from Device. Uncharacteristic by his standards. We'll see now if Fnatic can convert this and get the 4-0. Off to a flying start here, and Crims up for another kill, but Glaive will take him down eventually. JW just with the UMP in hand, and no utility. 37 points of health as he makes his way to a long. Bit of a gamble here, and Astralis just tapping the bomb, and now they know exactly where he is. He recovers the Galil, but it looks like his days might be numbered at this stage. Zipex will go for the defuse. JW just has to take down that one player, and it might actually happen here. Not quite. Astralis get the defuse in, but what a close round that was. And that's absolutely fine for Fnatic. Remember, they entered that round with a UMP, a MAC-10, and 3 rifles. The fact it comes down to a 1 versus 1, Astralis only going to get $3,500 on top of their very little economy right now. So MP9 being purchased for Dupree, and Fnatic, they've got a full, healthy buy here.
Wow, it doesn't look like the Danes even won. They don't feel like it with an MP9 sacrifice for Dupree. And the buy couldn't be better for Fnatic. They can strike right back on the T side of their map pick. They really are going to have to prove it. Dupree makes the MP9 work into great avail. He can back away. He has the support of Glaive, or we'll see for how much longer though, because the pressure's coming in. So is the Molotov. Dupree's burning. Good hold from Glaive. Just leaves Flusher and JW, and this round is as good as over. There's nothing they can do about that.
It looked like that was absolute pandemonium there in the connector. Astralis looks uncomfortable. They double smoked to meet that connector position, and somehow Glaive delivers the goods there with a double spray down. Himself and Dupree down at 10 HP, but they've got away with their life. 5 versus 2. At this stage, the objective for Fnatic is punish if they can. Device starting to come online now. That's a nice headshot towards JW. Flush up. He will get tagged up somewhat by Magisk through the wooden boards in the door. Could recover the bomb here, but not really much to do with it.
He's in the hurt locker. Bullets coming in from every direction. And Glaive's even got the flank covered. Flusher, he has one avenue to exit, and it's being held by, admittedly, one of the low HP players. Dupree would be lurking tucked in on the corner of Long. That's the only player really on that side of the map, but Device pushed up, of course, as well.
Yeah, they don't want to challenge this at all. As we mentioned, the Astralis money is so low. Any kill that goes against them now is very important. Want to maintain their crossfires, play deep on the sides, run that timer down, and Flush Up makes his way towards A. If he gets a plant here, that's great news. That will just maintain their situation, but it's likely he goes down. It's all going to be about timings here, and it's not good news from Dupree. That's going to yield a plant. That was on a silver platter for him.
Oh, back turned. You can't ask for much more than that. And Flusher, he's got more than he ever expected to pull out of that round. A 1 versus 5, and he gets a bomb down. Dreaming.
Yeah. By Dupree's standards, that was a lock-in. That was a done deal. He timed to perfection, caught Flusher in the back, committed to the full spray, lost control of it. Cost him his life, and that's pretty significant considering they're going to have 3,500 again. They wanted to make sure they kept every player alive if possible, but still only one goes down as Astralis start to find some rounds now. 2 in a row for themselves, but the plant will allow another strong buy coming forward from the Swedes here. This is where things got very toasty and uncomfortable for Astralis. He's still the player to the right of Glaive there, just struggling in the corner. Somehow got away with it, and it's going to be round number 6 coming through. No AWP on either side, but 3 AKs on the CT forces here. Maybe want to present a bit of aggression at this stage. We'll see if that's on their agenda. Glaive making his way towards B, and Dupree. There we go, flashbang off the tree now. Looks like he fancied it, but the flashbang will catch him in the face from the T side.
Perfect example of why you want to throw that flash early. Completely stops even the consideration of some early aggression from that side of the map. Bombs in spawn still. Toilet control will be given for free. Of course, Fnatic don't know that will work and utilize flashbangs. Clear in the corners. Molotov could get awkward for Dupree, and he does just immediately react. Smokes it off, and he can just set himself up all over again.
Trying to get that map control once more. Astralis seem happy to allow Fnatic to have long, most rounds here. You see a boost here for Broline. He's got the Krieg in hand, looking to open things up. The jump behind the APC is a shot he's certainly capable of hitting. Will he get the chance, though? That is the question. Thinks better of it for now. Time ticking away. 35 seconds, bombs in towards the T-step still. It's recovered by flusha. He's got 45 HP. A finish pretty much has to be the final call here. They have got smokes and molotovs, but CT's ready and waiting. Magus is one of the strongest anchors in the game. We'll see what he can do at this stage as he holds towards the A site. Device ready with the AK-47.
Oh, he eats the flash, has the smoke to escape into though, and oh, dupreeh, he's not even going to be able to get one. Now the bomb should be able to go down. Astralis, they're just going to pull the plug on that round. 2 frags, the double Ds die, and they just call to take it into the next. Lovely work from Fnatic, right down to the 20 seconds.
I feel like Astralis is giving them too much respect at this point, too much map control. They tried to challenge at the very start, they flashed off, they fell right back towards the bomb site. So much control granted towards Fnatic at that stage. They're able to do a full execution with 5 players alive there. Astralis, with the AKs on site, still couldn't find anything. It was Device in the one-and-done position. Couldn't find that. Flashbang got him right in the face. His teammate drops right next to him as well. They don't find a single frag upon entry. And Fnatic extending their lead to 4-2 here on the T side, no less. This is a great showing so far from them. Needed that pistol victory to carry on that momentum, and they've done exactly that so far. Still a buy for Astralis. They are a very disciplined team. They often allow teams to take rounds and just to maintain their own finances, looking at the bigger picture usually. And that's exactly that there. They're going to be taking 3 rifles into the next round. Ideally need that Device AWP to come online here. That's one of the strongest assets they have available to them. Zipex collects the final AK. 4 and 4s around him. Reasonable utility. Back to another default by looks of things. We have got a bit of aggression here once again. This time from Device. He does flash up and fall back. No real damage exchange just yet.
Through the wall this time. It favors Fnatic. Zipex catching a couple from JW. So nade to try and clear the close corner. Seen a lot of action towards Connector actually. He takes that tight Guardian angle, often held with an AWP, hard to work with the rifle. It's information nonetheless. But this is what you're talking about, right? This is that control. He just wanders in.
Yeah. Astralis haven't really played the bathrooms at all. They haven't really been challenging middle too much. They go there at the very start to see if they can get towards fountains. They're flashed off, so Fnatic are doing a very good job of keeping them at arm's reach. We'll see now if Device can start stepping up. Long has been an issue for them. dupreeh at the same spot by the flower bed now. Does get the first. It's Crim's turning around. The flashbang will catch him though. That's from Golden. Lovely work. A 4-on-4 trade does favor the T's at this stage, but there is a flank coming in from the Connector. Device had it from this way. That's a freebie. JW offers himself up.
Oh, and flusha exposed himself even earlier because he jumped. Roland can't do anything, and Astralis executing and Fnatic assault at this point. Nothing he can do. Round goes the way of Astralis, and that save, it just pays dividends. They'll even upgrade. They'll grab themselves 2 Kriegs. Still got that AK, and they're going to be comfortable coming into round 8.
Yeah, they absolutely are. A little bit of a shaky start for Astralis, but as they always say, they're the masters of the slow start here on most maps, especially in semi-finals, where they always seem to stick the landing, but things starting to stabilize for them now. Kriegs for Zipex and Device as Fnatic enter towards the B side of the map with 2 players this time. It will be Golden and flusha deploying utility as well. They'll have to run through the flames. After extinguishing them, of course, it'll be Golden to take 1 tick of damage as they wait for aggression here. We haven't seen Astralis really mix things up too much. 3 players towards B at the start. A bit of presence in the middle, and then they fall right back deep towards the bomb sites.
It's a stark contrast to the overpass that Astralis presented versus Team Liquid. Very different. It was a lot of very early aggression, coordinated CT mid-round pushes, and for now, it doesn't feel like that's something that Astralis deem necessary. Boost from Fnatic could be... Oh. You can boost a little further back at eye-line towards the barrels, but we're hoping to catch that ramp player.
Okay, a different change of approach here. We're going to see the boost with the Greaver Device. Normally there with an AWP, but that scoped rifle will do a very effective job as well. Nice to throw that in once a half or so. As Fnatic once again get full on control and bathrooms if they want it. And they head back towards B. We said that's their favorite side coming into this one. That's where they're likely to finish up here. JW still in the bathrooms showing presence. He smoked towards the long A position, but he's falling back towards the Connector now. Oh, wow. Magus will be opening things up. That's going to be towards the monster position. Taking down Golden, and Crims with the bombs on the other side.
This position often finds multi-frags, but Crims ensures today is not one of those. Zipex, by getting that frag, he's managed to completely relocate, has Glaive to fill his shoes. It's going to go once again back and forth into the site now. Just 2 remain. Make it 1, make it none. Device and Zipex, no issues as they find the 4th. They equalize after Fnatic's strong start on this T side.
This is where Astralis start to get comfortable now. Money's flowing, they can bring out the AWP if required. I don't think we'll see it this round, perhaps, considering they know they're probably up against a partial buy at the very top end. Money started to be whittled away out here, but that's a lovely hold from Zipex there. Really strong stuff. And indeed, 5 rifles once more. I think if one of these players goes down this round, we'll see the AWP into the next. But knowing they're up against the Deagle's armor maybe here, just going to be more the same, really. Don't need to be super aggressive, don't need to throw rifles away. Just work together. It'll be Device just spotting towards the T-steps at the start, holding defensive angles here. Doesn't want to stick around too long. Once that smoke goes down, he'll probably think better of it.
I don't know if Device caught the glimpse of Bronlan jumping up for that info, but regardless, the information was there. And oh, so are the bullets. They're actually going to position Crims for the shot. He didn't quite manage to convert, though. Towards Playground and back turned again. Timing perfect for dupreeh. Fnatic just going to let this one run its course. And dupreeh, he could get the turn. Timing perfect. Just tagging up Bronlan. The rest a formality. It'll be Device to finish what dupreeh started, and there's another for Astralis. That's now 3 in a row from the Danes. Bronlan and Golden yet to come online.
And that's a very good point, actually. If you remember yesterday against NIP, it was Bronlan actually got them into the game with that force bought Krieg and Deagles around him. He managed to win the 3rd round after the 2nd round. Force buy went against them. He really was the savior of Fnatic in that game. Yet to post more than 1 frag here in the semi-final. Big event for him. And Glaive now starting to pick up the pace, getting some confidence now, heads towards the connector. Looking the challenge at the start. He's got JW right in front of him. He'll decide to fall back. In terms of the overall complexion, we have got 2 players once again working towards short from Mondstadt's Flush and a Golden. Well done, watching for the aggression towards long. And dupreeh and Device maybe feeling themselves a bit more now. They're going to challenge for long control. Instead of playing right back at the APC, trying to bait a player in, they're actually boosting behind the flower bed right now. T's look convinced that B's going to be the best approach for them. There's Zipex going down. That's a wallbang, I believe, as well.
Yeah, he's been trying it this time. Not just the tag, but the frag.
Yeah, it was clean through the wooden boards.
I just got his work cut out for him. Glaive does have his incendiary, though. If Fnatic, if they start throwing utility, that's going to really slow down Golden's contribution from the short side. Molotovs are in, so are Fnatic. Equal trades favoring Fnatic, puts them now just 2 versus 4. Astralis, Device and dupreeh rotating from the other bomb site with a bomb down now. This looks like they're going to have a go, see what they can find. A 1-for-1 trade, perhaps not enough.
I think you might be absolutely right there, Alex. It's going to be Devices trying to take down any players with him if possible. The Krieg in hand got nice range, but Bronlan's got the same weapon. We wanted him to come online. He gets 3 frags and a massive round for Fnatic to tie things up at 5-5 here. That's much more like it, but this is where the game really begins. This is where we get to the exciting stages. We're going to have a double AWP setup on the Astralis side. A team historically that haven't really had that within their arsenal, but now starting to experiment with it more and more in the last 6 months. It'll be dupreeh and Device bringing out the heavy artillery for round number 11. No sniper available on Fnatic, but they've been very good with the rifle so far. And Device changing things up, getting that flower pad, dupreeh towards the T-steps. He's got a nice gap within that smoke. And they've got a lot of intel from that. They've confirmed that playground is clear, T-steps, no one really challenging. It should be a B focus here. I'd imagine we'd see a rotation with Device towards B here. And indeed, he's going towards the CT steps. May just goes down though. That'll be the cue for Fnatic to make their ways towards B.
Wow, Bronlan's done it again. Opens up the round just when we asked of him. He has delivered. So has Glaive though, keeps things level. They are starting their assault towards the site. Molotov to clear out some of those close corners, but how do they deal with Device? For now, Flusher eliminates the most promising threat, and now dupreeh beheaded. Device from heaven, they know exactly where he is. This round is going to be such a tall order for Device.
Looks like he's better off saving at this point. I have to say, I prefer just the single AWP for now for Astralis. They hadn't got to that point where they needed the double AWP setup. I feel like Device is more than capable by himself. And as soon as you bring the secondary AWP out, he can't be as dynamic as he'd like. He can't choose a position as he wants to go to because the secondary AWP needs to be a little bit more consistent. So we'll see Device go down. That's a massive investment into round number 11. Astralis give it up, and Fnatic just punish the fact that no retake was even possible. Those orbs up there, looking for opening picks at the very start. The Danes got nothing from it, and Fnatic once more capitalizing towards that B side of the map. They really seem like they're in tune with that bomb side in general. They like to go there a lot, but more often than not, they actually find the frags required and trade out equally to get the bomb plant.
Yeah, and it's telling as well that JW had an AWP in front of him and chose to stick with the AK.
Indeed.
Perhaps part of his understanding of also the buy Astralis would be presenting. Don't want to get overwhelmed by some fast USPs. Or overwhelmed by a fast Deagle push. Oh, Magisk. He's trying something. Brolin likely to react quickly. He's partnered with Glaive, but it's a flurry of frags in favor of Fnatic.
Yeah, looked like that could have fallen apart there. The timings could have been slightly off, but 3 kills found, nothing interesting to report on the CT side, apart from a little bit of damage towards Brolan. That actually looked like he had a lot of potential behind it. Either way, it will be dupreeh and Device with, at the very top end, a 5-7 and a USP. No chance of winning this round, Fnatic. I've got it locked in. Just looking for any sort of exit frags, trying to take a rifle into that next round. Money's still going to be a bit of an issue into the next, but for now, it will be Device to go down. That's the 5-7 removed, and dupreeh. There's any real chance from this graffiti position. Trying to take one player down with him, but Flush is surely going to check it. The Des mentioned how smart he is as a player. And there he is. Checks it, shoulder baits it, and now at this point they know exactly where dupreeh is.
It's just so habitual, isn't it, for these players? They will jiggle everything. And that's an evolution Counter-Strike has undergone over the last couple of years. I mean, you talk to Sponge, Chad, he'll say that that's just not something that was happening when he was competing, at least not so consistently. Every corner, every player just creates that new habit, jiggle the corner, get that info safely.
Well, it will be a tactical timeout for the Danes here. Device will be confirming their purchases as he does get the AWP himself. Now, like I said, I don't think the double orb setup is going to be their go-to here. Fnatic are playing a very loose and fast game, to be honest with you. They're going for a default to start, sure, but they're making their decisions to where they're ending up relatively quickly. And you want to be able to be nimble. You want to have those crossfires set up. A player like dupreeh, you wanted the rifle in his hand, and he's going to be influential in their success here. He does go for the M4A4, but they are hamstrung going into round number 13 here. No kits available. Device with no utility to speak of whatsoever, and Magis will have one of the few incendiaries they actually possess at this stage. Round 13, Fnatic sending 4 players towards B at the start. They don't want to pick up the pace and just go for a straight-up rush. I think that'd be a great call if they actually have the balls to go through with it, and in we go.
Oh my god, this is going to be so fast. They might even catch them with nades in their hands. They're not going to be ready for this many players. Now the nades can come in, and oh, that's a bit of a team nade. Could be a problem. Glaive continues to make things difficult, but huge from Flusher. Wow! 2 frags, the transfer eliminates the B threat. Flank still something that they'll have to consider, likely going to be the job of Crims, but that round secured again. What a call from Golden.
Yeah, that's a really great call. Just when you know you've got them uncomfortable, they've got a weak buy coming through, and they're really adjusting, trying to adapt to what you're doing with these defaults at the start, then execution. Just go for a straight-up rush. It works out very nicely indeed. Astralis weren't ready for it. They're actually boosting at the back of that B side, but it's still a 2 versus 2, a very slim chance. And remember, Astralis have no kits. We saw that coming into this round, so probably not even worth it considering their financial situation, the fact they have an AWP as well. Really not the ideal weapon to even considering this one. Well, there it is, Fnatic. Great call. Really shuts down Astralis. They were expecting more of the same, and it was anything but. Straight through the monster tunnel. The Kriegs doing so much work there.
Flusher really saved that. Could have got a bit more difficult had he been lined up and knocked down. Instead, though, that's 8 now to 5. Solid T showing on their map pick, and they've got another real good shot of this one. Just 2 saved rifles.
They've dropped dupreeh, the AWP here. He's getting towards the connector at the start. He had the best spawn available. Now we're looking for the drop down from ladder, but no one there for now. Oh, there it is. Is there a chance? He's actually going to be... Now it's going to be Device, though, with the M4. The switch-up seems to be working out perfectly for them. Device, the sniper, down to the rifle. He will have 2 kills to his name. He's fallen back as well. 2 big scouts removed, Brolan and Crims. 5 versus 3, but still a difficult one here. They only have 2 weapons to speak of.
Didn't scavenge a weapon. Is the conversation worth having about some housekeeping? Never mind. I think he's just focusing on surviving at this point. JW, wow, that's an important one. Gives Fnatic a way back in. Precise headshot, takes dupreeh out, takes an AWP out of this equation. Flusher's going to start to posture on B, wants to keep the CTs there, doesn't want his teammates to be overwhelmed, keep the numbers equal, keep the duels fair. Oh, and Device gets another 3 in this round. The last was just 6 HP, and now on the hunt for more.
Wow. He's taking matters into his own hands, isn't he? Oh, JW, wow, that awareness. That presence of mind to actually be aware that he could be taken down in the back there. It's going to be 2 HP for himself, but man advantage for Astralis, but they've lost both their bigger weapons now. Just 3 Deagles up against the 2 Fnatic players. And of course, be going for this one. It's round 14. They have plenty of money for the final round. 20 seconds remain. JW to try and crack things open once again towards A. Major just hits one of these bullets, especially right in the dome. That should shut things down, but flush up. 10 seconds on the clock. He will find the first and presumably try and get a plant out here.
Glaive's just going to run him down. He knows it. Managed to swing out for the frag, but no time for the plant. Zipex safe and sound in his hidey hole. It will be the Danes picking that one up with just 2 rifles into that.
Well, there we have it. Device had to step up there. He plays on the defensive side of the CT smoke towards the steps. They push through, manages to get 3 frags in total. When he had 6 HP as well, to get the third was very impressive indeed. Saw that replay. That really had all the action.
Yeah, that was everything. Great positioning from Device though, just hugging that smoke. Question, is it worth questioning what Fnatic's call was there? And never mind, because the call right now is to get dupreeh hyper aggressive. Previously, you highlighted they were flashed off, not this time, and enables him to at least show that presence early. Glaive deals with JW, constant nagging on Connector. An early first blood.
Yeah, just to comment on that, I feel like Fnatic are playing a much looser game. They're not playing with quote-unquote structure in terms of like a top team would, which is very uncomfortable for Astralis. They're used to playing against very tactical teams, and Fnatic are just calling on the fly, but calling around their default, and it's very difficult to contain them if they're hitting all their shots, and Flush is playing like he is. It's overwhelming at times, and you can see Astralis now throwing everything they've got, every trick they have, and it will be Flush. Again, that first kill somehow. Fantastic flash from Golden. But it is the man advantage still for Astralis. Good start from Aegis. He has to wait for the bullets to be shot through before he can actually make any sort of steps here. Those shots paint him into a corner, and Device now the AWP. He hasn't been performing this weapon so far, but can he step up now?
Oh, he trusted his flashbang wholeheartedly. Through the monster smoke is a terrifying push, but Golden flashes and frags. He does it all to put Fnatic back in good stead to give this round a good go. Grim's naded down, but he's on the site alongside his teammates. Brolin crawling through the smoke. He's not done there. Goes hunting. He knows there's going to be another one close quarters. Molotov will enable Glaive to push, but straight into the crosshairs of Golden. And the round's done. The half's done. 9-6 Fnatic, making a statement on the opening half of their map pick. It's over to Frankie on the stage.
Thank you very much, Miss Jean. And going back to the analyst decks before this match started, no one expected such a ferocious form from Fnatic to kick things off. Astralis need to warm up. And if there's one thing we know Astralis love, it's the love of the crowd. Are you with the Malmö Arena? Let's see if that cheering helps after the break.
CORSAIR DreamHack Masters Malmö continues. Our first semi-final with Astralis taking on Fnatic. They bested their domestic rivals in NIP to get here, and now they meet Astralis. Flawless so far here in the tournament, puts them in the semi-final bye, and we're into our second half. Into that pistol round. Our machine, he's Henry G.
Yeah, it was a spectacular start for the Swedes here. Exactly what they needed on their T side of Overpass. They're currently sat 9-6, and Astralis, they'll need this pistol, need some wind in their sails, I would say. Got himself a couple of smokes, a couple of flashbangs as well. Upgraded pistol for Device. He's also got Kevlar, so he's got that Superman setup here. But Golden and JW feeling extremely brave as they push toward the short pipe into potentially Xipex's CORSAIR. He's playing a very defensive game. They might be in a lot of trouble here, but they could time it well. He will fall back and join his teammates. Oh, the timing couldn't be better. CT's actually pushing right behind him.
So well, especially if a couple of frags go Fnatic's way. That might slow them down enough for the flank to come in and play a part in this round. Roland's going to get pressured. He may not be ready for this. Yep, caught off. Xipex catches the equalizer, catches Brolin sleeping, strafing, to be more specific.
They have JW here at the T-steps.
Checking this. He is. Nice work from JW. He does not want to let this round slip away. Man, he's got 17 frags from JW. He's done this round on his own.
Yeah, that is so wild from him. He pushes all the way towards B. The timing couldn't have been better there. And the shots, he goes one step further than that. 3 headshots found, round shut down. At this point, Glaive, all he can hope for is the bomb to be planted. He might actually be able to do that, you know. The B side's relatively clear. They're nowhere to be seen. So bomb we planted, at least give some AKs in the next round if they wish. And, wow, flush out. They are looking like they're high rolling in the fragging department right now.
It was always something. Desks for years after the glory days would talk about Fnatic and the fact that if X shows up, if Y is there, playing in the form we know they're capable of, they really can do damage, and this is a prime example of it. JW, there's nothing Astralis can write in the strat book that stops them falling to shots like that.
Yeah, really special stuff there. Enjoyed that a lot. Astralis will indeed force by in the second round. 2 Kriegs, didn't find many kills, so can't get the third. But there will be Deagles across the board apart from that. So they have got the smokes available to them. And you can see Fnatic ready and waiting for this. They get themselves 4 rifles, not focused on the SMGs at all, just flash it with a UMP. But that seems to suit him, to be honest with you. He'll be more than comfortable with that weapon. Slower approach here from Astralis. Usually don't want to fire off any bullets, don't want to go for any spams. You want to approach together silently and then strike with a pounce-like maneuver.
Preparing for the pounce. Hoping for an extension from Fnatic, and now they are going to show some of their hand. A smoke towards heaven. Fnatic ready their responsive utility. Flash is planning to flash to enable the peek from Golden and Crims on the swing. No one's there. Actually, never mind. That flash went even further. That was in support of the other site. Here comes the push, though. 30 seconds, and already Dupree finds a way in. Magis could get caught out. It's not enough from Flush's UMP. Now they're everywhere. He's got so many different angles to deal with. Good spray from Crims, but it's not enough to best Magis. This round, this take, coordinated and effective. Astralis, they have the sight, and there's nothing the CTs can do about it.
Yeah, overwhelming and well-timed approach there from Astralis. You can see how powerful that force by in the second round is if you get the bomb planted in the pistol, regardless of a win or loss. We will see 2 kills for Dupree. Excellent work there, and Fnatic, yes, this is the best approach at this point. You haven't really got the resources to even challenge this plan, and it's Astralis keeping 5 players alive and potentially able to recover a couple more upgraded rifles here. We are going to see Device get the M4A4, and Glaive still on the pistol, no armor, but it doesn't seem to be a problem. They're going to keep all 5 players alive here. They do not want to hunt themselves. They want to make sure they keep the money as strong as possible, and they're probably fine with Fnatic force buying the next round. They want to ruin their money. They want to put them in a very difficult financial spot. But there it is, Astralis winning the second round here. And that's going to be 10-7 overall. They are certainly capable of making a comeback on the T side. They are one of the most tenacious squads you will find in all of esports, to be honest with you. So good at making these comebacks and holding their nerve, Alex.
Yeah, and holding their utility. I mean, by the time they'd won that round, quote-unquote won that round, they were still directly hitting Crims with smokes. There was more follow-up utility to come afterwards. Wow, it's rare to see so many of Astralis resources all in one place. If pushes like this continue, information can be conveyed and response from Golden can be given. Maybe mollied, creates a smoke to play around, but already Device is out on the side. The flash doesn't slow him down. The CT smoke, however, will. Nice work from Glaive, though. Pushing up on short, they're all there. Fnatic to receive them. So much utility being exchanged, and not many bodies dropping. Always favoring Astralis. Crimps changes it and turns the tide just a little bit, but still, Astralis have the sight.
Still a chance for Brolan, though. They don't seem to be aware of his positioning. He has got 3 players to find, but is the bomb even being planted at this point? Well, doesn't seem to matter. It will be dupreeh, ready and waiting for the trade there. There was a chance for Brolan, a slight one. He did absolutely everything he could, gets that first kill, but dupreeh, very smart, very ready for it. It's going to be 2 rounds in a row for Astralis after another very successful B approach. You're right, the utility usage there, it was stifling for the CT defense. You can see they're ready. They had a decent crossfire, they're flashbang after flashbang. No vision at all. It's a bit of a staple of the Astralis game, being so good with the grenades in total. And we are going to have pretty much a full EK here. Just $300 invested with the P250. They've gone for a 5-man B stack, I believe. Just 1 player towards A, actually. And taking a leaf out of the Astralis book. This is actually an approach they used to do back in the day, stacking towards the water, in towards the B bomb site. Haven't seen it for a while.
A whole lot of precise dinks. Device is a perfect weapon for the job. It's been spotted. Doesn't have the numbers just yet.
You see what they're doing though? They're sending Device with the MAC-10. No one else is fully committed at this stage. If he goes down, if he detects a lot of players here, they'll call to go back towards A. If he goes in and kills a few of them, they'll be fine with that. They can still make their way through. Now it's feeling like this is a bit of a stack. I would say fall back at this stage, and they're actually going to struggle with it, taking a lot of damage. You said the dinks had to come through. They certainly are. Still with the advantage here. They haven't given anything away just yet. But still, I feel like just throwing the MAC-10 in and confirming there's 3-4 players there, probably a time to get out with 40 seconds on the clock, especially. dupreeh will find the penultimate frag and JW to be dealt with. So a little bit messier than you would expect, but still 3 players surviving. They wanted to get rid of the MAC-10 anyway. That's fine as they look to get closer and closer towards the double digits and tying things up here. Is there an AWP available on the CT side? I don't think there is. They would have to go glass cannon if they were going to try and bring that out. FAMAS for flush up. No kits available. I would expect a slightly aggressive approach here from the Fnatic side, considering their difficult spot they found themselves in here.
Let's see what the call may be. dupreeh making it clear he wants to go fast, but look at what cost! Bullet through the wall from Flusher, nade combined. It's a brutal mix. Golden's only got 4 frags. The impact frags, admittedly though, held the monster push not once but twice.
Well, there we go. That's fine by Crims. They maintain the advantage, take another player down. They just got the trade, but does he anticipate this position from Golden? Time will tell. Who comes on the top? Oh, what a shot that is. Made down to 34. Aware that he's vulnerable to grenades there, falls right back and sees what the reaction is. Remember, CTs and no kits. FAMAS for flush up, but they still have a couple of smokes and an HE. Every chance of winning this. This is a massive round for both teams. Problem is, Alex, with Nuke coming up next, as we mentioned, this is a must-win for Fnatic. They looked a little bit lost against NIP on that map yesterday, and hopefully they can pull this one off and maybe even take us to
Inferno.
That'd be great.
And Inferno, you know what? I'd be willing to take a chance on Fnatic there. Certainly much more so than Nuke.
Absolutely, yeah.
Well, the Swedish underdogs on home soil have 25 seconds to stop that bomb from going down or eliminate the 3 remaining Danes. The flashes will fly in, or rather Molotovs and smokes for now. It does look like Brolan's going to try and keep himself safe. 15 seconds. Device has got the weapon for the job now. Upgrades. It's just 1 man. Magisk is low and they convert. Well, a single body dropping in the mid-round. That's lovely from Fnatic. And they find their first real round, actually, after the pistol on the CT side to put 11 on the board.
Yeah, that wasn't bad at all. Interesting plays at the very start there. Enjoyed this. They needed a quick frag, as we mentioned. It's the HE and wallbang follow-up from Flushstar. You can't teach that. That's just excellent work. And it will be Fnatic picking up a massive round there. I love that push from Crims as well, just to sabotage a very tactical team. Every player you take down, as long as you can maintain the advantage, that's absolutely worth it. P250 for Zipex, Mac 10 for Device. They are struggling as they limp into round number 21 here. What's the approach? You have 5 players outside B. I would assume an execution here. Magis, you know he's to be checking this boost position, but can he nail the shot?
Oh, the flash, it just pops out of nowhere. Very little time to react. Flusher punished as well for trying the same wallbang. But he does go for it again. The counter wallbang could come in, and he takes the damage. Down to 37, but they accelerate. Caught with flashes. Crimson is going to try and reposition, but Golden is in prime position. Double kill from Golden. He's done his hard work. This round should be Fnatic's as well. Just Dupree. Device has only got the Mac 10. How far will that get him?
Wow, apparently a nice opening kill for them. We'll see now a 3 versus 2, but look at the HP. Oh, flush out. Oh, I beg your pardon, 4 on 2.
Easy to miss 1 HP.
Yeah, how did he survive that one? He managed to dink Dupree at the start through the wall, so that's one of the players still alive and kicking. 40 seconds remaining, and Device really doesn't have much of a chance here. Has he only got the Glock now? I believe he has.
He was hoping to try and find that rifle.
That's
he
not
hoped
ideal.
the smoke was covering it. He'll go back and find his Mac 10. Where did I put it? Oh, there it is.
I guess he just didn't want to make noise and he picked the weapon up by dropping the Mac 10.
Makes a lot of sense. But now he realizes that this round is completely and totally over. Hoping to take a rifle away from Fnatic. He can't do it. Dupree keeping hold of his. But 12 for Fnatic, and they string 2 together up against the Astralis buy.
Yeah, they're looking very good, Fnatic. They've been doing their homework overnight. They've worked out their game plan to take down Astralis. Had to win some pistols, had to get a good start here. I actually think starting to fall apart in the earlier stages of the second half, but they've really come back to life here. This is impressive. Golden especially, holding his nerve in that B execution, using the pillar to dodge the flashbang, getting a lovely double spray down there. Dupree will save the creep, but they can't justify much more around it. Couple of P250s, 1 deagle for Device, but we saw yesterday players like Brolan with just that 1 rifle can open things up, especially the Krieg, which seems to be getting more and more popular as time goes on. Hands to Dupree, the entry fragger of Astralis. If there was a man they would like to crack things open here, he would be it. No way. It felt like he was pulling the trigger there.
Yeah, it did. Glaive Device, though. Does look like they catch an aid. Roland willing to go aggressive. He knows he has the advantage. He wants to press the issue. Dupree, however, bringing that rifle in. We'll test him and trade. Very little in terms of supporting cast for this, though. A P250 in that a tagged up Desert Eagle play, but Device's angle was good, not good enough. JW, quick flick. Fnatic just 2 frags away from 13. Oh, JW's going to put an AWP on the ground. Zipex the one to force it from him.
Well, this is an interesting moment now. With 40 seconds on the clock, there is actually a chance Astralis can do this. It'll be Dupree with the bomb on his back, making his way towards that B side. Zipex will hold towards the bathrooms. He hasn't got armor, but he has got a smoke and a flash, so he could set up a smoke towards the A side of the map, potentially flash over, try and keep 2 players there. Makes his way towards connector, so maybe saving the smoke for heaven at this stage in order to try and set up a fake of any sort. And Golden, he's surely got himself a guaranteed kill. And now Dupree, all he can really do is go for the plant. He won't have much time to reposition here. That's if it even gets planted. Golden's hot on his heels here. Be aware of it, but can he find a shot? Nice work from Golden, not to overcommit. He wants to make sure that all his teammates are there, and that's exactly why.
That's exactly what Fnatic perhaps in times past have fallen foul to. It is the eagerness to make the play. This time, you can see the restraint. Golden lets that round come in. They go retrieving the rifles that they may have lost, but Astralis, they make a lot out of a little. 1 saved rifle. You can see how Brolan started this one off. Not only 1, but he gets 2 before the rifle and the Krieg was spotted. Good damage to Dupree, which is eventually converted. But the bomb down, nonetheless, that's something for Astralis.
Yeah, nice to see Brolan and Golden posting numbers in the second half. They were both very quiet in the first, but they're actually doing a lot of heavy lifting here in the second half there, especially Golden. Just getting those key frags towards the B bomb side, playing disciplined CS, doesn't seem frustrated at all by a quiet first half. Really good to see. Enjoying this from Fnatic so far. It's going to be 13-9. Astralis on the ropes at this stage. Pick the Fnatic here. They said it was a must-win, and they're on course to do so. 13-9. Krieg's out. 1 AK as Dupree will be pushed back by the incendiary. Takes a couple of ticks there as well, down to 89. Flusha seems to master of causing chaos through these wooden boards. Can he find another dink here?
He's got the lineup. It's enough to force a change of play, perhaps even pace from Astralis. Device. Is he going to be anticipating this position from JW?
It's a difficult one.
Back of the pillar. Now gets the info, gets the shot. JW, he can back straight out of that one. Mission accomplished. Quick trade though from Magisk at what cost? Down to 13.
Well, they will finish up towards B once again. Glaive has to recover the bomb. It's right back at the T-steps. A contact play from dupreeh and Zipex, trying to surprise Flusha, but you've got to wake up pretty early in the morning to take him down. Crims will be in a crossfire with him. They've done so much damage there. Magisk and Zipex with nothing between them. Glaive will push through the smoke, but it looks like this round's done. Astralis starting to flounder here somewhat. 25 seconds remaining. Molotov's out of position, and Crims is just relentless. Flashbang comes through, making things very uncomfortable for the Danes. It looks like this round's done. I don't see a world where they do anything with this.
This is brilliant stuff from Fnatic. Wow.
Yeah, it really is. It's impressive so far.
It's so rare to see an Astralis T-side halted in this regard.
They seem a little bit phased at this point. Astralis will have to save their two Kriegs just by virtue of the HP. They just don't have anything to work with there. No grenades, nothing at all. Crim's trying to find the final few players there, but they're in touching distance taking this first map now. 14-9 for the Swedes. And there will be a tactical timeout called from Astralis here. They're second so far, and my God, do they need it. Great stuff from Crims. Good to see him at that level once again today.
Yeah. Chance for Zonic to get on the microphone. The sixth man of Astralis. He's been there for those trophy lifts, the 4 stars on the jersey. 4 major trophies in the cabinet, man. That's just unheard of.
It's not bad, is it? I prefer to get 5 myself, but 4's pretty good.
Yeah, 5's pretty cool, but 4's all right.
Yeah, you know.
Good to hear the Fnatic chants. They've been working on that one since yesterday. But 14-9, they just need 2 more. Can they hold their nerve? We know Astralis in particular are no strangers to being back against the ropes and just finding a new lease of life.
Yeah, that's the thing. So many teams are very good to getting that 14th round, but getting number 16 against Astralis is one of the hardest feats in all CSGO, I would say. The mentality shifts. You start thinking about being the player that gives the rounds up, that lets them back in. Ooh. But Brolan, he might be anything but that, because he's just dunked a nade on them that's done a lot of damage. Even more so now. What a fantastic play that was from the young Swede. It's going to be a 5 versus 2 now. Zipex will pull one back, but the damage has been done.
Brolan knew he was safe because of JW's aggressive AWPing. Catching Astralis off. It's not often I find those words coming out of my mouth, at least not with any degree of consistency. And look at Crims with this read.
Wow.
Opted to go lower, and Brolan, he was not done. Bomb loose, round 1, unless Device, with 60 seconds admittedly, can overcome the odds, overcome the Swedes. First option is Brolan.
If he hits this shot, oh my God, I was about to say it would take a 90-degree turn and then taking down Device there. Either way, Brolan completely shuts the round down. He's the new Swedish wonder child, that's for sure, as Crims will confirm things. It's 15-9. No one anticipated this. Astralis, at points this year, untouchable on the map, defining how it's played. And at this stage, Fnatic just have their number, shutting them down. Look at this accuracy from Brolan, so confident in his own ability, and he wanted a bit more out of that. Completely destroys Zipex, and that's the round over. Map point, round 25, 15-9, UMP for Glaive. If there was a chance to shut Astralis down, this would be it. They've barely got any utility between them whatsoever. They've got 1 smoke remaining, a couple of flashbangs, 1 Molotov. Has to be the contact play here, Alex. And Magis, he isn't going down without a fight here.
If there's one man that's a big part in that comeback machine, it's Magisk, always finding a way in when the pressure starts to mount. Flusha, however, does best him, and now willing to take another fight. My goodness, Fnatic! Just like that, a dunk to finish. They have come and made a statement, map 1 of this semi-final.
That's impressive. I was not anticipating this level of play from Fnatic. They looked like they were playing at a reasonable level against NIP yesterday, but this is a different beast altogether. Brolan, quiet first half, but that shows you what a world-class player world-class player he's going to be going forward. He manages to hold his nerve and completely eviscerate Astralis in that second half as well. Crims looked fantastic throughout, and Astralis, they had a slow start, but I didn't think they'd maintain that throughout.
Less than a week and a half ago, it was New York, and it was Liquid versus Astralis Overpass third map. They got 80 rounds versus Team Liquid. They muster 3 versus Fnatic. There is serious performance from the Swedes, and we're going to be breaking it down over at the desk.
Yes, we are, Alex. Thank you very much, Henry, as well. And I cannot believe you guys predicted against Astralis. Or, I mean, my bad, Fnatic.
Yeah, I mean, that was super impressive by Fnatic. I still think Astralis is going to win the series, but let's focus on what's the most important thing here, and that is Fnatic showing a new level of Counter-Strike. That is Fnatic absolutely outplaying Astralis. I think they were far better in pretty much all aspects of the game. One thing that really struck my mind was the beginning of the game. Fnatic ending up winning the pistol, right? That makes sense. Then you see Device having a few uncharacteristical misses with the AWP, and it seemed to be the case for the entirety of the Astralis squad. They had the chances of fighting their way into the game, but Fnatic just seemed cruel. They seem to be better. They seem to be winning the duels, and they seem to be the better team throughout. Really coming in prepared, and I'm very impressed by Fnatic because we have not seen such a high level coming out of the Swedes for, let's say it, a year or two.
Yeah, okay, Christine. Fnatic picks Overpass for a reason, obviously, right?
Yeah. They did, and I have to agree with Jacob. It was impressive because I thought the slow start from Astralis, they would start ramping up, and when Fnatic went to that CT side, it looked like they were struggling towards that B with their crossfires and their philosophy and how to hold that B bomb site. But then they started racking up the scoreboard once more, and then it just kind of snowballed into Fnatic's favor, which is not something we're used to seeing against an Astralis.
We also got what we asked for, though, right? We got all the players from Fnatic playing well. Flusher had a few crucial moments. The wallbang you just saw on your screen. JW having a great game. Crims doing what Crims does the best. Golden even having a few multi-kills. And then Brolan going 4. I think he went 4 for 5 in opening duels. And in the second half here on the CT side, completely disarmed Astralis completely. So every single player from Fnatic had a play. Every single player from Fnatic showed up. And this is exactly what needs to happen again on Nuke, or for that matter Inferno, if they want to keep being competitive against Astralis, who right now is a little bit disappointing.
And you know, hearing you say that they're disappointing really does hold just a bit of girth to it, a bit of weight to it. Right then and there, we look at Overpass, we send Overpass down the river, and now we're going to be looking at Nuke, Astralis' pick. Obviously, they're going to be coming into this one stronger.
They should be, right? I mean, they have to start off on the strong foot. Astralis are known for starting off strong. They're not known for having to fight their way or claw their way back into these games. And as you mentioned, Jacob, Device did have a little bit of slower start. He's definitely not known for making mistakes. And so perhaps yesterday having that day off might be playing a factor. I'm not sure if it is or not. Astralis aren't really known for that, but they certainly have to start off strong on this Nuke.
I'm a little bit worried though, because we saw Astralis playing Nuke against G2, a team that had not practiced Nuke whatsoever. They even decided the spots coming into the game, and yet they still went to OT, right? Astralis, we know them to be one of the best Nuke teams in the world. We know them to be Mr. Consistency on a map like Nuke, but as of late, it's been up and down all the time. So if Fnatic really come in prepared on Nuke as well, if they really didn't show us the real Fnatic yesterday on Nuke against NIP, we could have a case here where Nuke is going to be competitive. That being said though, looking by the results, looking by the fact that Astralis picked into Nuke, it would be one of the greatest surprises and one of the greatest upsets of a DreamHack tournament if Fnatic were able to take this one 2-0.
Yeah, and you're talking about upsets. We're talking about Nuke on the cards. One last question I'm going to have for both of you. Outside of Device not, hitting his shots, this, that, and the other, what is it that's going to beat Astralis right here on Nuke?
You know, in my 3 reasons why I mentioned Astralis' foundation being such a strong suit for Astralis and Fnatic potentially struggling against that, but I'm going to turn that around. I'm going to say that perhaps Astralis' foundation may be the crux that Fnatic can use against them, because they're dancing around. JW's feeling really good. He's feeling himself. Flush is feeling himself. If they're able to just make the chaotic scenes happen on Nuke and make some crazy things happen towards that door squeaky secret area, they can absolutely make it competitive.
I'm glad you mentioned it, right? Because the foundation of Astralis should be enough to take a map like Nuke. But if JW can do JW stuff, which is just running around and doing ridiculous stuff, and pulling it off with his immense skill, then sure, Astralis could be in a position where if they don't get off to a good start, they know they're 1-0 down, they know they're supposed to win, and they know it would be a great upset if they were to lose to Fnatic 2-0. So it's still up in the air, but realistically speaking, I wouldn't be surprised if Astralis ended up winning 16-6 or 16-8 here, having a strong T-side.
Yeah, running it back, and then we get that third map, and then we get all of the rounds. You, Malmö, get all of the rounds, but only coming up after this break will we be able to see what the conclusion or perhaps the lead-in to the third map will be. Nuke is on the cards. One nuke's already been fired here as Fnatic pick up Overpass. We're going to be looking ahead of this one to see if Astralis can keep it competitive in Malmö.